Welcome to Academy 2.0, where we focus on giving you the opportunity to learn from professionals from various fields to help you explore your passions and your interests. Hi, my name is Elaine, and today I will be interviewing Dr. Bentley, who specializes in responsible AI education and the participatory design and governance of artificial intelligence. Today, I will ask a series of interesting questions about Dr. Bentley's work for her to answer. This video will showcase the highlights of this conversation. But if you are interested in listening to this full interview, feel free to tune into our Spotify using the link in the description. Now, without further ado, let's get started. First of all, thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate you taking time out of your day to be with us.
Well, thank you also for getting up so early. We're on the opposite sides of the planet, aren't we?
Yeah. So our first question is, please introduce yourself, including your area of expertise, and one fun fact about yourself you would like us to know.
My name is Dr. Caitlin Bentley. I am a lecturer in AI education at King's College London. And I have sort of arrived here in a different kind of way. It's not like I suppose I haven't started in AI and ended up in AI. I first studied computer science and then educational technology, and I worked for a number of years in lots of different countries and sectors. But at the heart of it all, I've always sort of been driven by a desire to figure out and ensure how technology can be used and designed and developed and implemented to impact on the people on the planet positively, to protect and empower, especially the most marginalized people. And a fun fact, I've lived in 10 countries.
Wow, wait, 10 countries. Okay, so the next question is actually asking about what your academic journey looks like or looked like. And so maybe from your undergraduate years to your graduate years, and how did that lead you to your current role or your current profession?
Yeah, I think my education background was driven by my curiosity to solve problems that I was encountering in my professional work. And when I graduated from computer science in 2003, the tech bubble had burst. There was a tech bubble in the 90s, early 2000s, and this was when Google was starting out, and there was lots of jobs at one point, and then the tech bubble burst, and then there were no more jobs. And so I was left figuring out sort of what to do, and I was able to get a volunteer placement with Oxfam Quebec, where they were sending young Canadians to go work in developing countries to gain professional experience, but then also to help NGOs and civil society organizations develop technological capabilities like databases and websites and things like that. And through that experience, I sort of learned a lot about a completely different culture to mine, and then just the ways that technology could really be used to support and empower people in which was a bit different from the technical training that I'd received previously. And later I moved to Mozambique to do a similar placement. And then the organizations that I was starting to help was working for, I started to recognize that they were learning to use technology in different ways than I would have anticipated. And so I wanted to know more about how and why people from different cultures than mine learn to use technology to suit their own purposes. And that's why I thought, well, I should study education. How do people learn about these things, and how do people learn about how to use technology? And that's why I studied educational technology. And I worked on a project supporting multiple of these organizations at the end of my master's degree. And through working on that project, where we were kind of building Skype before Skype existed, and Facebook groups before Facebook existed. And this was all, ways for these organizations in different countries and different places to share information and knowledge. But they were all struggling for reasons that I seemed to view as like a similar reason. Like they were all struggling with the same problems. They were very busy recycling information in lots of different Word documents, for example, to give information to to their funders, the people who are giving them money to do the work that they do. And again, I was curious about, well, could we use technology to help these organizations in ways that, cuts across all of these different organizations in these different places? And again, so it was just sort of a curiosity. Well, how can we fix this big reporting problem? Can we make reporting use different technologies like open data or things like that, which would be maybe more efficient at sharing information? But at the end of my PhD, I learned basically that these problems are really complicated and complex to solve. And that's sort of where I ended up with that. And I continued to work on technologies that I thought had promised to change the way that people and organizations were sharing information through openness, like open data and open educational resources. But I was seeing more and more that that technological innovation and platforms were becoming more privatized and corporate. And so there was sort of less and less potential for open technologies to transform the way that we commonly share information. And then we saw, that artificial intelligence emerging in this whole landscape as well. And that's when I decided, well, I need to influence the way that technology is designed and developed differently. And so I am sort of building on that. How do we influence the next generation of AI designers and developers to build more effective technology, but that is also responsible in terms of protecting and empowering people. But also now more and more, in my view, we need to really address the environmental impacts of AI and technology inclusively as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So would you say that you enjoy the educational or kind of technical side of computer science and like artificial intelligence more?
Yeah, so I specialize in socio-technical views of technology. And so my passion is really about how do we integrate socio-technical views of technology into computer science education. So typically, we tend to separate these things. So you learn about an algorithm without any context, without usually sort of the applications that it's used in, the people that it's affected by, or that are developing these algorithms, like the history of how they were developed, by whom and where. And my view is that in every technical subject, you need to have a socio-technical dimension for computer scientists to be better equipped to take a responsible approach. So integrating that throughout so that it's not just something that's different or tacked on or a little checkbox exercise. I think it fundamentally shapes the way that computer scientists think about the work that they do if they can situate technical aspects of their work into a context.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was really, really interesting and really insightful. And our final question is actually, what would you say, or what advice would you give to students and professionals who are really interested in pursuing a similar career in AI education and responsible AI?
I think when you're young, you sort of have this vision of that you have to like pick something and stick with it. And I think my experience shows that you can have lots of different experiences and they might not all seem to be on the same path, but eventually it all seems to make sense. And so to me, I think my advice is just to like follow your passion. Don't think that you have, but trust your instincts, and you know, take every opportunity that you can, because to me, I think you just learn from all sorts of different kinds of experiences. And I think a lot of the, you know, a lot of the experiences also that I've had that have really shaped me are things that I don't frequently talk about a lot either. It's like, you know, working as a technical support agent at a call center was something I did when I was young. And it's still, you know, like being able to explain clearly how to fix something to somebody over the phone is actually a really useful skill that I use in my daily practice now. But, or things like working as a, you know, like during my university career, I worked at pubs and restaurants as well. And that hospitality skill set has also been really useful when I've had to learn how to manage teams and things like that. So I just think be open to lots of different experiences, and even if it's not the next logical step, just trust that it's going to be valuable in some way, and it's just about how you make the most of each opportunity that you're given.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think that's a very valuable like life lesson, like trust in the process, but also work really hard. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that seems very like US mentality anyway, but
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming. We really, really enjoyed this interview. I think like a lot of good things about AI and AI education were said today. So I think, yeah, thank you so much for coming. Thank you, Dr. Bentley, and thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this interview helped you gain more interest into the amazing field of AI education. Please check out our Spotify via the link in the description for the full interview. If you are interested in more content like this, explore all the other videos we have on our channel. We hope to see you in our future videos as we explore other intriguing topics.